Hey, I was looking for the remix. Turn my life better than original. Spaceships pulling up on Venus. See the young God in the physical. Fuck what they say, really, I'm a beast in all formats. Way over there, blind for the sun when you stare rare. Cause I'm looking for the remix.
Golden morning, and welcome to Legends Rising. We're a little bit better than episode 0, hopefully. Maybe. But this episode is a very special one because it's endorsed by Bill Nye the Science Guy, allegedly.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Asterisk. It's not really endorsed by. I'm Midas.
I'm Mendez.
And welcome to Legends Rising, the morning show that's all about making you have a legendary day. Right? It's bad copy, but I liked it.
Sooner or later, he'll get better at this.
One of these days. Probably not today, though.
Not today.
But speaking of today, we got a letter today. Wow.
Transition. Bam.
There's a cut there. We got a letter today from A Square. And A Square, I mean, that's his name. He says he's from a place called Flatland. Some of you may recognize him. Some of you might need to read a little bit more. A Square writes in and asks, how can I survive in the 5th dimension? Yeah.
Hashtag check out his SoundCloud.
5th dimensional bars, bro. That's first off how you survive. Flames told me that the best way to survive anywhere is spit your way through it. If you know how to freestyle, you can survive anything. Avalanche, freestyle at it. Wildfire, well, you shouldn't freestyle at it because you'll make it worse. Get it? Because I spit fire. How do you navigate in the 5th dimension, Mendez?
I wish that the mics could pick up the crickets in the background.
I mean, come post editing, you'd be surprised how much they'll pick up. How would you navigate in the 5th dimension, Mendez? What advice do you have for our lovely audience member, A Square, for how he can navigate properly in the 5th dimension as a person who's not used to moving in so many different directions, you know?
Wear a raincoat. And suction things on your hands and feet.
All right. Oh, okay. Nah, I mean, yeah.
Did you want more? Because...
Okay. I would say go on Tinder and see if you can hook up with Mr. Plistic because he's from the 5th dimension and I think he'd be a good tour guide to help you maneuver through there.
He has a Tinder?
Yeah, it's a 5th dimensional Twitter. So instead of swiping left or right, you swipe in. Why do I keep getting so many quick moments? Okay, you could try moving Ana and Kata, which are like new directions. So there's up, down, left, right, in and out, which these are 3-dimensional movements or 4th-dimensional. Then once you get to the 5th dimensional, you have like Ana and Kata, which are like, you know, I can't define what they're like because we're stuck in this 2-dimensional box right now because we're on screen. Right now, clearly we're in 3D, but stop having so many moments of silent stares. This episode is just going to be just long stares.
Doesn't work for him.
Okay. Suggestions?
Pack a lunch. Because you're probably going to get hungry. And... tell your mother that you love her before you leave.
Do you think you could use the stars?
To navigate there or just in general?
Like to navigate?
Because anybody could use the stars.
Well, yes. I mean to navigate through the 5th dimension.
Blind people.
Like do you think that the stars are visible in the same way and in the same location in the 5th dimension? Or is there like a whole different setup of sky up there?
Maybe it's the same, but you perceive it differently.
Well, yeah, you're in 5th dimension. So instead of the stars being up here, they're like ground level.
Yeah.
Or beneath you. Because obviously like, the 3rd dimension is like this. Then the 4th dimension is time, so you're here. So then the 5th dimension, you're up here. So you're looking down on everything that's going on here.
Can you see it through the clocks?
Oh, what's that movie where the guy was behind the bookcase and he was like living outside of time, Interstellar? Yeah, it's probably like that. Hide behind bookcases. That's a good way to navigate through the 5th dimension.
And in Scooby-Doo's universe.
Well, little known fact, Scooby-Doo, its entirety, everybody but Shaggy is in the regular dimension, but Shaggy is in the fifth dimension. He's actually an imp from the fifth dimension, which is why his real name is Shaggy. That's it. There's no last name.
I thought it was because he was a stoner.
No. And his catchphrase, Zoinks, most people think it's like, oh, a stoner thing. But nah, it's actually really like a fifth dimensional calling card. If you're from there, then you'd understand like Zoinks. Oh, hey, I go there all the time. It's a prominent location.
So why would that be his catchphrase? Why? Like, how annoying would that be if you were in that world? Just like, Zoinks, okay, can you stop saying the location of
Can you
stuff?
imagine what the third dimensional call or sign is?
I was just thinking. If everywhere you went, like, just for no reason, you're just chilling with your homies and you're just like, Detroit!
Woodward! Like, oh, okay.
Greenfield and Coolidge! Like,
You know, that Midas just him and his really specific Tourette's. Like,
he is doing it because it's the same reason that Mythoi we use for our interstitials, popular Detroit locations that people can recognize. So he's trying to let people know, hey, fifth dimensional bros out there, I see you.
or maybe it's like his cry for help.
Save me, Zoinks, I'm
Like,
stuck.
ET's go home. His is like, Zoinks!
Shaggy phone on. Zoinks. Rubber dubber dub dub. Another person from the fifth dimension. I mean, really, if you want to know how to navigate the fifth dimension, watch Rick and Morty season 1 through 3. Eventually, you'll pick up tips of how to do it.
Yeah,
Don't talk to any squirrels though,
preferably.
if you can help it.
Especially if you're a dog.
Why? Do squirrels? Does your dog kill squirrels?
My dog is too slow to kill squirrels.
Bro, he's a freaking dog. I mean, to be fair, squirrels are pretty quick. And they also have the ability to, whenever they want to, extemporaneously transfer themselves to the fifth dimension. So it's kind of fun.
They plot. They sit up into the tree and like put their little paws together and they're like, I'm gonna fuck with them today. Like,
Okay.
that's squirrels.
I have an idea. So if normally you're in the third dimension, be normal +2. I'm really gonna embrace my capacity and ability to enact silence in the middle of a YouTube fucking video. Another thing I gotta bleep out. Great.
What if you wake up legendary? What do you do?
What if you wake up legendary? You can't wake up legendary. Scary movie reference. Sorry, I just had to say that. What if you wake up legendary? Then you shouldn't be watching the show because you've already accomplished the task that we're trying to help you do.
Or you could help us.
I don't need help. Come back tomorrow. If you wake up legendary, actually, you should check in the mirror because you might have become Kevin Midas. And that's important to... if you have become Kevin Midas, please consult a doctor. If it lasts for more than 4 or 5 hours...
You're not the only legendary person in this room.
In this room? No. At this table? Also no. But I'm just saying. Other ways to navigate through the fifth dimension. Paper airplane. Because paper airplanes, they can go anywhere.
Or in one direction.
I don't like that band. Funny thing.
What?
In the fifth dimension, they call one direction 11 directions. Because one direction in the fifth dimension is equivalent. Like one direction in the third dimension is equivalent to 11 directions in the fifth dimension. So they don't really get that.
How do you know?
I mean, obviously I've been there if I'm giving tips of how to navigate it. Other things in the fifth dimension, they call Jay-Z JXYZ because those are his coordinates on the graph when you look at the third dimension. And who else? Talk about stuff. I'll think of this.
I ain't saying shit.
Oh, they call rev, run, and rise and slope. Much for the same reasons that they refer to Jay-Z as they do. Coordinates. Come on, I mean, you got it.
No. No, not at all.
It's gonna take me a while to think of more, so just...
I don't know, it took you like 2 seconds last time. So.
In the fifth dimension, you're not above the influence, you're surrounded by the influence.
There, in the fifth dimension, Taco Original, this is gonna be a t-shirt now. In the fifth dimension, you're not above the influence, you're surrounded by it. In the fifth dimension, all the single ladies, they still do exactly the same thing. They're still not married. I mean, changing dimensions doesn't make your relationship status any better. Sorry.
Bagels.
Bagels.
Oh, in the fifth dimension, bagels don't have holes.
So it's just bread?
Yeah.
What's the bun?
It's just a solid. It's just a solid lump meant for you to spread
like
cream cheese
waxy, solid lump of bread.
We're getting off the track of being helpful. How can you help someone navigate through the fifth?
I mean, if they didn't know those were bagels, we helped them out.
That's true. When you go to the bakery store stand and you see
The
like
bazaar.
just solid. when you go to the local trading post and you're carrying your deerskin around to trade for some bagels, then you walk up and
What a terrible trade.
All right. Deerskin for bagels. That is
Survival guide in general. Don't trade deerskin for bagels.
survival guide for every dimension. Venison is worth more than Schmear Society.
It's warmth. It's food.
All right. Last tidbit of advice from me for how to travel through the fifth dimension. Instead of like playing Ready Player 1, do Ready Player 3 so you can spectate someone else traveling through the fifth dimension.
Okay, and that's our time. So, we'll see you next time. Like, subscribe, and ask us questions.
Be sure to comment below or email us at, I don't want to say it, mythoimedia@gmail.com with questions that you have for how you can have a legendary day. I've been Midas.
I have been Mendez since
And
the
this
day I was born.
episode has been sponsored by Bill Nye the Science Guy, Asterix. Allegedly.
Peace!
That was pretty good. The camera's probably gone off. Okay, we're getting better.